Lakers 117, Warriors 112. Tough loss for the Dubs, especially when you go back and look and realize we really should have won this game by a lot. Even with Anthony Davis's monster game. I'm going to break it all down and explain why. Make sure you guys subscribe to get more content. I know I've been off on a hiatus, but we back now. We're going all the way through the entire playoffs and beyond. Let's get to the game. Kicking it off with the Dubs. We have got to stop fouling. I mean, it's to the point where it's beyond belief. I can't put it on the refs because 9 times out of 10, you go back and look, the Warriors actually fouled. There are times, yes, you can argue and say, look, the ref doesn't know what they're doing, and there was a few bad calls in there sometimes, but for the most part, we just could not defend without fouling, which I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but that's been the case the entire year. We have not been a great defensive team at all. To understand how bad the fouling was in this game, you just need to look at one stat, and that's the free throws. Free throw attempts. You look at the Lakers, they had 25 of 29 free throws. The Warriors only 5 of 6. 5 of 6. That is awful. You are not going to win a playoff game like that. That is a recipe for disaster. Even if you account for some of that coming from Anthony Davis, he's doing most of his damage in the paint. That is not an excuse for you to foul D'Lo, to foul Reeves, to just stupid fouls. Most of them by JP, I'm not going to lie, because JP, we gonna get to him, believe me. I saw the memes on Twitter. There are times where I really appreciate Twitter. Tonight was definitely one of them. I don't know if there's an easy fix to that problem though, because it's been an issue all year long, and I expected it to be an issue to a certain extent, knowing that Anthony Davis was gonna do most of his damage in the paint. This is not the Warrior teams of old where we had Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, and a prime Draymond and Clay to rely on defensively. When you really look at who most of the defensive responsibilities on, yes, you have some on Looney, but he's also getting boards. You got some on Wiggins, and you still got Clay, who was giving you great. I mean, Clay was clutch, hella clutch when you go back to the Sacramento Kings series defensively in a lot of games where he wasn't giving you a lot offensively. Bottom line, the Warriors have got to find a way to stop fouling. You give a team 29 free throw attempts, you are begging to lose. You are just begging. I don't care who it is. This is the playoffs. This is not you facing Houston on some random Tuesday night. This is the Lakers. They are primed and ready, and they're trying to go on the same run and put it into our dynasty that everyone's been saying it's been over how many times? 2, 3 times? I don't know. But they've come to play. You cannot give them any easy shots. If the Dubs put the Lakers on the line like this for the rest of the series, it's going to be a short one. Now to the bench, because I'm not going to lie. During the game, I felt like the Lakers bench was giving us the business. Then I looked at the box score and I realized it actually wasn't that bad, as it actually was a little bit more equal than I thought. I mean, if you take out Dennis Schroeder's 19, Jordan Poole's 21, it's pretty even. You only have about 8 to 9 points between the rest of the bench. So both teams are not really relying heavily on their bench. So the bench isn't really where the game was lost. I am going to expect Gary Payton to knock down some of these open threes. If they're going to leave you this wide open, and I know they say, look, if someone's leaving you open 9 times out of 10, it's usually for a reason. But GP, come on, baby. We saw what you did for us in the postseason last year. We know you're capable. You got to knock down some of these open threes. JaMychal Green gave us 6 points in 8 minutes. You really can't ask any more from a bench player than that. I'm surprised that Kerr, though, actually only limited him to 8 minutes. I would have expected him to play somewhere around 12, maybe 15. I do expect for him to creep up slowly but surely to that 15-minute mark. The longer this series goes on, you just have to be able to rely on somebody else off the bench besides Jordan Poole giving you a burst of productivity. But this has been my biggest complaint, and I think the complaint of most of the Warriors faithful. Why the hell are we not playing Jonathan Kuminga more? Why, is he in the doghouse? I don't know what Steve Kerr is doing. If you're going to go ahead and trade away Wiseman, I expect for Jonathan Kuminga to have a much bigger impact and footprint on the game. Now, I'm not saying he needs to be necessarily a focal point, but you've at least got to give him an opportunity. He just gets a DMP? Now, again, the Lakers didn't really go too deep into their bench either, but for God's sake, you got to at least be able to get that athleticism is going to waste and would be really beneficial in a series like this. I just don't understand the rationale behind it. Are you just waiting for later in the postseason for him to be effective? Because I would think this would be the perfect time for us to figure out, okay, what does Jonathan Kuminga really bring to the team? Looks like Denver's coming out of the other side of the West. This would be the perfect time for Jonathan Kuminga, build up some confidence, go ahead and try and find a rhythm going into not only the Western Conference Finals, but potentially the finals again. Look, I know Kerr has a pedigree. He's won multiple championships as a player, GM, coach. I understand it. He wants to play things close to the vest. That's told the media basically just as much before the game. But if things keep going this way, the only thing that's going to be close to the vest is the life preservers that we're going to be wearing when we're out of the playoffs singing 1, 2, 3 Cancun. Defense. We have not been a good defensive team this year. It's almost insane to expect for us to be an amazing defensive team for the rest of the postseason. I know we had some great defensive moments against the Kings. Don't let that fool you. Yes, we're highly capable in moments of coming in clutch, using championship metal and pushing through. But when it comes down to you just playing overall defense and not letting it get to a game 7, I need to see that execution, that intensity every single game before then. The Lakers are not a good three-point shooting team. They're just not. So aside of Anthony Davis and LeBron, because those are just the two players you're just going to have to chalk it up to, we just got to contain them as best as we can. Everyone else is pretty much doing damage in the mid-range or going to the basket. And it's been a lot of easy backdoor cuts and some weird decisions, I'm not going to lie, either by Andrew Wiggins just forgetting defensive assignments and letting LeBron go right past them. JP just not even trying at times, it seems, on defense. It's just frustrating to watch because I feel like if we even gave an eighth of the level of defense that we played in the finals last year, we would be in much better shape. From the Lakers side of things, I have probably been one of the most critical people out of anybody as far as just, people I talk to, my friend group and all that stuff, as far as Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis carried the Lakers tonight. I mean, if you look at his stat line, what did he have tonight? 30 points. He had a double-double by half. I'm going to say that again. He had a double-double by half. This man was on a mission tonight. 11-19 from the field. 0 from 2 for 3, but made all of his free throws, played 44 minutes. That might be a little bit of a concern if you're a Lakers fan, because I'm just saying, we all know Anthony Davis, it's just one small ticky-tack thing away, knock on wood. I want us to win no matter what happens in this series. I want people to stay healthy on the Lakers side, Warriors side. This way, by the end, if you lost, at least you lost with all your star players and knowing that you gave it your best shot. But that's concerning. That's a lot. That's a lot of minutes for Anthony Davis. And we know how he typically is. But if he's going to give you this, I mean, I don't know what to say. 23 rebounds. I mean, he killed the boards. There were times where you could tell Kevon Looney was trying his best, but Anthony Davis is 7 feet tall. He's just, give me the ball, snatch it up, and I'll shoot it over you. There were so many times during the game where Anthony Davis just grabbed the ball out of the air, looked down at Kevon Looney, and just hit an easy floater, and is already headed back up the court. And he's going to do that the entire series because we don't have anybody else that can really guard him. He's just too big. There's no one on our team that even comes close. You just got to pray that at some point he just cools off or he just starts missing or becomes tentative. That's the only real hope you have in this series against Anthony Davis. And D'Lo gave the Lakers great production in the third quarter when it felt like we were really climbing back into the game. He just was like, no, I'm not going to let y'all do this. Hit a couple easy mid-rangers, made some really great tough mid-rangers as well. I mean, he was just hustling, went straight to the cup on a couple of occasions. D'Lo was on a mission. I don't know if it's an understatement to say if D'Lo does not go off the way he does in the third quarter. And again, he didn't have a great night in terms of three-point shooting, but 9-19 from the field, but he kept them in the game during a time when the Warriors were trying to go on a run, our classic third quarter runs. And it was just enough to keep the Warriors at bay. So by the time we got to the fourth quarter, it was just, all right, you guys are here, but you're not here, and they just started pulling away. Their interior defense, and I cannot understand this for the life of me. Steph, and I love our boy. I love 30. Come on, it goes without saying. Y'all, there's a reason why I love the Warriors. There's a reason why y'all love the Warriors. Aside from Kerr, aside from the whole team, it's 30. It's 30. The Lakers' interior defense was disgusting. How many blocks did they have this game? They had 10 blocks compared to the 3 for the Warriors. And you expect that you're going to have LeBron and you're going to have Anthony Davis doing what they do best in the trenches. It's not a surprising number when you consider who LeBron and AD are. You expect them to have that type of a performance if 6'2", 6'4", 6'6" guys are going to continue to try and get as close to the basket as possible and just keep trying to hit these little floaters or bunnies. That's not going to work on this team. I just don't understand why Steph, Poole, even Wiggins at times kept charging, it seemed like, right into Anthony Davis or LeBron. You're not going to be able to, and I ain't going to lie, it was slick a little flashback of 2015, 2016. I hate bringing it up. But there were certain times I'm like, Steph, you cannot just think you're going to get this up and around LeBron. He's too big for that. He's not going to let you just get away with that. You're going to have to pull up and just take it either from 3 or hit the mid-range. Us going and doing any work by the rim, unless it's a backdoor cut or it's just in the flow of the offense and you find the open man, that's the only reason you guys should really be trying to go to the rim. That's the only reason. Other than that, you're not going to find any easy baskets, especially when it's on against Anthony Davis and LeBron. Now, if you got Austin Reeves on you, or D'Lo. Vanderbilt, I give Vanderbilt some a lot of credit because he did his best against Steph Curry. I think he got to him a little bit toward the end of the game, not so much at the beginning of the game. But if you see LeBron and AD down the post, I don't want you going anywhere near them. And I thought they did a really good job of trying to suck the Warriors in to the post where it got tight, because there were times I'm like, why are we afraid to shoot? It felt like there were times we were genuinely afraid to shoot the ball. I saw Wiggins hesitate on a few. Poole really hesitated before he started heating up. What was it, late in the second? Look at I love JP. Have since his Michigan days when he hit that one shot. I can't remember who it was against, but it was in March Madness where I felt like he legitimately did the Jordan Jumpman logo pose and then got the. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful shot, but look. JP, I don't know what's been going on. Maybe it's just a punch and it still is lingering. I hate to bring that up, but it is what it is. His tentativeness early in the game just was killing us. His lack of defense, and maybe that's just who he is. He just is not going to play any defense at all, because there were some fouls that I'm looking at Jordan. I'm like, Jordan, there's no way that you should be making these types of mistakes at this point in your career. As a rookie, you understand it. But by year 3, 4, and beyond, you should be you shouldn't be having these type of blunders, especially in some of the biggest games of the season. All that said, I still don't want JP taking that last shot. And I know they were probably pressuring Steph, trying to make sure he didn't get the ball, but then you got to get it in Klay Thompson's hands. I don't care how many screens you have to do. I don't care how many do whatever you have to do. JP is not taking that shot, and especially not from that distance. And he rushed it. So just nothing about that last possession I liked. And once that didn't go in, I'm like, yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And there were so many moments where I expected, and maybe it's a little bit wrong to expect this of Steph to a certain degree, because he dropped 50. It's a quick turnaround because they played on Sunday, so only really a day's worth of rest. But you at home. You didn't have to travel. So when the game's getting tight and we're 3 points down, I'm expecting Steph, Klay, somebody to make a bucket and say, all right, enough's enough. We entertained this long enough. Let's go ahead, do what we do best, make our shots. They can't compete with this. All I have to do is make my outside shots from the perimeter and we're good. And they didn't make shots. They just didn't make them. And it was confusing. It was a little hard to watch. I mean, you look at the stat sheet again, we went 39% from the three. So we shot better than the Lakers, who shot 24%. But then they shot 46% overall from the field to our 40% from the field. I don't like to use the word scary, but I'm going to use it here. Scariest part about this game, LeBron had probably the quietest 22 points you will ever see him have. I mean, he definitely had an impact. Don't get me wrong. There were moments where he was like, all right, he definitely picked his moments. But in terms of beginning to end, if you're a Lakers fan, this is exactly the type of ball you want to see them play. LeBron having minimal impact. He can give it to you in bursts. But AD just dominating. I mean, dominating through and through. I don't know how we're going to be able to deal with that. I don't. But at the end of the day, we got to hit our shots. We just have to hit our shots, and we have to come out more aggressive. As much as I love our boy 30, you can't open the game up with a turnover, man. You just can't. You can't. And I know coming off of last game, he only had the one turnover. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, it probably makes sense. Go ahead and get this one out the way. Say, all right, we already matched last game, so don't expect that again. The Dubs' recipe for success the rest of the series, you just have to stop fouling. Easier said than done, but that's really what it comes down to. If you take away even 4, maybe even 5 fouls that we gave, that's the game. We win this game comfortably if we just don't foul. I don't know how. It's easier said than done. They're gonna have to figure out some way to lock down defensively and realize I just cannot foul this guy. You have to find some other ways to impact the game, gives the players some trouble. I don't know what you guys are gonna have to figure that out, but you cannot give them this many points, free points. You just can't. You are begging to lose this series if you do that again. But that's game 1 in the books. I'm not worried. I still got the Dubs. I think if we just make a few adjustments, give Kuminga some more playing time, come out with a little more aggression, I got us in game 2. This is going to sound like a hot take. Game 2 is a must win. And you're like, bro, we're only 2 games. I know, but game 2 is it's a must win. You cannot go down 0-2 going back to LeBron's house. This is not the Sacramento Kings. This is even though they're not seasoned collectively, between LeBron, AD, Schroeder, even D'Lo to a certain extent, there are vets on this team who know, okay, we're going to close this team out. You cannot go down 0-2. I got faith we're going to handle it. Guys, let me know what you thought about the Dubs' performance in game 1. How do you feel like the series is going to turn out? Catch y'all next time.